think the Fed goes bankrupt. I think the U.S. goes bankrupt, and I think that that's what we're looking at. And I think this is why there's a lot of countries are beating the war drum right now. There's a lot of saber rattling going on, and there's the U.S. now is going to open up another front against China, as well as the proxy war in Ukraine against Russia. So this is the end of empire stuff.
Hello and welcome to Smart Tech Ideas. In today's video, biggest Bitcoin bull and prominent maximalist Max Keiser updates about the structure of the crypto markets with Bitcoin dominating the picture. He talks about the potential of Bitcoin and the possible reasons behind Terra Luna crash. Max also highlights why Wall Street is a scam covered by central banking. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video where Max Keiser reveals why altcoins are a Ponzi scheme and a huge fraud. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. So without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video.
I think we're basically in the fourth cycle of scammers. So the Raoul Pal and Mike Novogratz and a few others are kind of at the center of this latest wave of bubble and scams that have come into so-called crypto space. And the asset class that is Bitcoin is kind of shrugging it off, and it's not really having an impact on Bitcoin at all, really. In days gone by, some of these major scams, like OneCoin was from a few years ago, and others, they had more of an impact on the price of Bitcoin. And you know, what boils my blood is that rejects from Wall Street, like Mike Novogratz, who was kind of a hedge fund reject. He fucked up his hedge fund. He walked away from the industry for a couple of years and saw an opportunity to recreate all the scammy shit he was doing on Wall Street in crypto. Or Raoul Pal is another Wall Street reject. I guess he wasn't given a partnership option, so he kind of went away and crawled into a cave for a while and saw an opportunity come into Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin is both the greatest and the worst industry in the world. It attracts the worst people in the world. It also attracts the greatest people in the world. And it's this dynamic that we call price discovery. It's, you know, the price is reflective of the fact that you've got the smartest and greatest and noblest people in the world working on Bitcoin. You've also got the shittiest, worst, morally bankrupt scumbags in the industry as well. When you put them all together, you get a current price, which is whatever it is right now.
Recently, the Consumer Price Index, the most widely tracked benchmark for inflation, rose 8.6% on a year-over-year basis, topping expectations that it would decline to 8.2% from April's 8.3%. The unexpected fresh four-decade high of 8.6% in headline inflation is problematic for monetary policymakers who are in the middle of a rate hike cycle but may have been eyeing a pause at some point later this year. Now the question may be whether the Federal Reserve needs to raise rates by 75 basis points per meeting rather than the planned 50 basis points. And this decision will impact all asset classes, including cryptocurrencies.
So this was just the latest in a series of scams. And it was designed as a scam. It's similar to BitConnect in its design as a scam. And it blew up like a scam. The people who, like, again, Mike Novogratz, who didn't do any due diligence, is irresponsible. It goes beyond just being sloppy. I think it's bordering on the criminal, that he didn't do a shred of due diligence on this very obvious scam. I mean, Corey, of course, was tweeting about it before it blew up and saying, you know, this thing is built to blow up. It's going to blow up, and it blew up. Same thing now with Celsius. Celsius, you know, the more you dig into it, the more it's an obvious scam, and it's in the process of melting down. That's going to be another huge washout in the crypto space. But all of these cryptos are going to get blown out of the water. They're all technically securities anyway. The SEC is dragging their feet. You know, we can ask ourselves why Gary Gensler is failing to do his job. Is he just another captured regulator out there doing the bidding of his puppet masters? It looks that way. But eventually, Bitcoin is so beautiful that it will push out these crooks, these charlatans, these captured regulators. You know, there's no point in trying to sugarcoat it. These guys are recidivist criminal scumbags, and they deserve to be in prison. The fact that they're not in prison is a shame. Really, it shows that the justice system in America is broken down. But I think that's pretty obvious across the spectrum. We see this all the time.
Bitcoin, which along with nearly all assets has taken a major hit as central banks in Western countries have begun tightening monetary policy over the past few months, dipped to $29,500 from $30,000 in the minutes after the report. It remains off by about 65% from its all-time high hit last November.
And we're seeing it right now. There's the crisis part 2 from 2008, and everyone who's on Wall Street and is a banker is getting bailed out. And everyone else is suffering from inflation, and everyone else is suffering from price distortions and social unrest. Again, it goes back to this idea of moral hazard, which is, again, the wiggle room. When the central bankers and Al Greenspan and others, or Ben Bernanke or Jay Powell says, we have the right to engage in moral hazard. We have the right to bypass ethics, morality, and the legal system to protect the functioning of these markets and to protect the liquidity of these markets. And what that's done is created an economy and a society based on fraud.
Tokens related to the Terra ecosystem saw volatile trading in the last few days amid legal developments against issuing company Terraform Labs. The price of Luna gained as much as 30% from $2.65 to $3.44 and then fell steeply even as the broader crypto market remained flat. Luna Classic gained as much as 34% before sliding again. Such volatility arose amid reports of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission investigating whether Terraform Labs violated U.S. laws regarding how it marketed its tokens.
The synthetic credit default swap, or the synthetic CDS, as you've just described it, it's the current price of Bitcoin is roughly 95% discount to the imputed or implied value of the synthetic CDS, as Greg has outlined it. Now that's a huge discount. What you're putting forward there is to me, if I was working a desk on Wall Street, I would be able to sell that all day long. I don't understand. I mean, in 1980s, I was selling quote unquote portfolio insurance and sold a lot of it. Of course, that led to the 1987 crash, but that's another story. But in other words, the story is you've got $1 million or $10 million stock portfolio. We can wrap that for 2% a year with derivatives, and you've got a maximum 2% downside on your portfolio, and you've got all your upside.
Futures tracking the two tokens saw nearly $18 million in liquidations, while losses on futures of other major cryptos, apart from Bitcoin and Ether, remained under the $3 million mark. The Luna was issued to holders in late May following the depeg of algorithmic stablecoin Terra USD in early May, a move that saw the value of old Luna fall as much as 99.7%. Value locked on decentralized finance, DeFi, apps in the Terra ecosystem fell by $28 billion in addition, as reported. The liquidations marked the highest losses for traders of the new Luna tokens so far, data shows, with nearly $5 million in losses. Old Luna futures, however, saw higher losses at over $12 million, suggesting retail traders continue to prefer old Luna trading over Luna 2.0.
Probably in part because the hedge fund people that are in crypto, like, not to pick on Novogratz too much, but nevertheless, he is the highest profile ex-hedge fund guy in the crypto space. He lives for Gamma, right? He never puts this pitch forward because it's so easy to make money shilling shitcoins, you see? Yep. If there was some law that applied, some serious enforcement of the current law, they don't need any new laws. All that Gary Gensler has to do is enforce the current laws. And, Novogratz would be forced to actually start working for a living and not just shilling crap.
So, do you think there is a Bitcoin crash looming? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.